And welcome back. This is game 2 of the Dude from Brazil Celo showdown with TimbaEC and his partner Kromix. Game 1 saw a very solid 7-minute rush basically end all hopes of an early victory. And there we see Kromix trying to do the oldest trick in the book, a little bit of text distraction and also some verification, making sure that Dude from Brazil is indeed from Brazil. And so far, it looks like it's going pretty well. We see them trying to make friends. Kromix may attempt at some point to send a peace treaty via probe to see if they can end this dispute peacefully. However, I don't think Dude from Brazil will accept it, considering that he is on an undefeated streak and he is looking to go all the way with this. And the pleasantries continue as they share childhood stories and memories of their time in Brazil. And you see it's just getting a little too mushy for me. And it makes you wonder how it might be affecting their play, and pretty much everyone dead even here, and you can almost feel the hug between these two guys, just dying to bond over this. So, see some drone up from Celo and from Dude from Brazil, and we see Timba feeling a little left out of the conversation, just kind of droning up as well, and Kromix doing a lot of typing, and as well also building a gateway at his main entrance here. See Dude from Brazil sending a scout in early. He has it routed all over the place, so it looks like he will leave. Not really interested in seeing what Timba is doing, I guess. And we do see double gas going down. Take a look at the production tab. We see 2 spawning pools for the Zerg players, and we do see a gas going down for Celo as well. So far looking a little similar to the last build. We'll have to see if they try to go for a 7-minute rush. This is a much longer rush distance, of course, going all the way over here, and much easier to defend. So it will be a harder accomplishment to pull off. And this time Timba and Kromix seem to be building a little bit quicker, and they also have their wall completely built. See Dude from Brazil sending an overlord to say hello, and he will spy Timba's production line. We also see Timba, who, if you've watched some of our previous casts in the season, Timba and Kromix got burned very badly on this entrance on Tirador Keep. They completely forgot it existed, and Mord and Satchmo basically just took it down and built an entire encampment over here and just completely harassed them to no end. So a definite improvement there. We do see some fast expansions going down for Celo and Dude from Brazil. That's a little bit different than last game where they expanded very late. So it looks like we will see more of a normal timing for them, not really an early push. And you see Timba really, this is a bit of overcompensation here considering what happened last time. And he's really building hard on this. And I don't know if anyone's planning to actually attack this, but if they do, I guess Timba, you'll definitely be ready. So expansion's underway. We do see a little bit of scouting for these extra bases. Tirador Keep, of course, being a very odd 3-team base. Not really sure when you would use that, but Blizzard felt it was necessary that the 3-team map be addressed. So here we have it, Tirador Keep. Pretty good map, nice and spacious, very Zerg friendly. Interesting choice for Kromix and Timba at that. But you do have a lot of extra bases here that you want to try to keep an eye on. So we'll have to see what happens there. All right, let's take a look at units. See what we're coming up. We see Kromix basically just an army of probes. And we see 3 Marines. And they will definitely dispatch Dude from Brazil's Overlord. Very unwelcome. And he will go home. He barely got to see this wall here. If we take a look at what they were able to see, he was able to see basically everything that's currently being built here. However, he did not get an eye on the cybernetics score, which is very, very critical. And we see Celo attempting to get eyes on it, but unfortunately he will only get eyes on this bunker. So Kromix and Timba doing arguably a better job this time around, keeping the base a secret and not letting them keep pieces of information such as sentries and this cybernetic score here. Meanwhile, though, we do see some defense here from Dude from Brazil. He builds a spine crawler. Go ahead and take a look at production, and we'll see not really a whole lot going on. Celo just building some creep tumors. Take a look at the unit tab. We have 5 Zerglings. And that's it, actually. 5 Zerglings altogether. Celo sitting on a ton of larvae. Just went ahead and built it as I said that. And let's see what he built with it. And it looks like he's just going to build a ton of drones. So we see not really a lot of army here. However, when we look at the other side, we've already got 10 Marines, 3 Stalkers, and 2 Sentries. But, you know, let's take a look at their map, and you'll see here on their mini-map, Timba and Kromix have not done any scouting at all. So once again, we see a situation where scouting really favors, you know, the aggressors. I mean, they have more than enough right now to cause a lot of damage, but they have no idea that their opponents are basically just macroing up. So they don't even know that they should attack right now. And it's a real shame because, you know, Timba and Kromix are a team that desperately do need a win here. And they have the opportunity to do some early damage here, but they are just not taking advantage of any kind of scouting. And that has been a problem with this team from week one, and something that they really need to address. Not to mention that they've also completely barricaded themselves in their base, equally as disturbing of a problem. And considering the base locations, they may even want to just knock down these rocks and give themselves a faster entrance here into the base. We do see a sensor tower coming down, probably one of the more underused Terran buildings, I guess that's fair to say. And we do see quite a bit of stalkers here. Take a look at the unit tab. You just see drastically in favor of Timba and Kromix, but they are just not doing anything with it at all. They're just sitting here playing a straight up macro game, and they got a very late start. Timba just getting an expansion down. Kromix has not attempted to get an expansion at all. So, you know, we take a look at the income tab here, and they are dwindling. You know, barely being able to break 700, while we already have Celo and DudeFromBrzl at over 1,000. So, again, Timba and Kromix, if you ever see this, for the love of God and everything holy on this earth, please start scouting, because this is a dire situation that doesn't need to be dire, because you are giving them every opportunity to macro up. So, you see a macro hatch going down from DudeFromBrzl. Take a look at production. You see lots and lots of upgrades coming in, some roaches coming out as well for Celo. And we do also see DudeFromBrzl going to take this gold. He realizes that there is absolutely no aggression here. Celo keeping an eye on everything, and they basically say, okay, you're going to turtle up, then we're going to go ahead and take every single base we can. So I expect to see them take more than just this gold here, as they are really just going uncontested for map control. We do see DudeFromBrzl with a couple overlords out here just to avoid any drops that may come in from the back, get some vision on them. Do see lots and lots of Marines here. And we do see a little bit of square dancing going on from these stalkers, as they are really cramming in here in almost a very unhealthy way. This cannot be an ergonomic situation for them. They really need to try and put those units to work, make them roam around, kill some overlords, do something. And you know, other than that, not much going on. To be honest, kind of a little bit of a boring game here, as they just kind of sit and do nothing. So you know, again, not really a whole lot of scouting. We'll take a look at the vision, and you know, even Dude-From-Brzl and Celo have not had any updates in a very long time on this base. They don't really know what's going on. They're not aware what kind of units they're building. Basically, both teams are just kind of building in the dark here. And we do see another worker going out from Celo. He is going to go ahead and take his third base, and that will definitely give them a huge macro advantage. Take a look at the macro tab. You see that Dude-From-Brzl struggling a little bit to keep up. He was a little higher before. Looks like he has not been replacing those workers that he's been using to build defenses, and you know, he's a little bit behind on the worker count. But we see you know, Timba and Kromix just not really catching up here, and we do finally see a little bit of movement, but you know, again, they just seem to be content to just kind of hang out here. They're not even trying to take this expansion, which is kind of interesting. I mean, we've got Celo just kind of guarding it here, but it's really more to keep an eye when they expand. So they know at the very minimum that they're on 3 bases between the 2 of them. So that's really something that they need to address. And we do see a robotics facility coming down. We're already at the 12-minute mark. I mean, people should be getting close to Tech 3 by now, if not at Tech 3, especially when you're just not going harassed or anything. We do see finally a Baneling nest coming down. That's definitely going to need that. And, you know, just a very interesting game here, especially from Dude-From-Brzl and Celo, seeing that they are so pro-scouting and so pro-harassment, poking, not letting your opponent sit for a while. I mean, for all they know in here, there's mass carriers on the way. You know, I mean, very easily, Kromix could pull a mass carrier build and try to do something. And we see finally, look at the ridiculous travel that this, I mean, it's like a roller coaster without any of the fun. And it just, like, deposited out here. It's just incredibly long to do that. At least he has blink, you know, that'll definitely come in handy maneuvering that around. If he can try to get vision up here, he might even be able to blink into this base, but you know, everyone just seems to be very, very content to just kind of hang out. We do see Celo's Zergling is spying this here. We go and take a look and see what they see. He definitely sees this expansion going down. So we'll have to see what he's going to do about that. We also see Celo has eyes on these other sites. Not that, you know, it took them 12 minutes to expand to this base, so I don't expect them to try and take any other bases anytime soon. However, Celo has not seen this massive army here. It is just outside of the visibility of the Zergling. And I do see a nice collection of units here, a handful of Hydras, a smattering of Roaches, and quite a few Banelings, which they will definitely need, and they're probably just guessing they're going to use, because they have not scouted the Mass Marines yet. And we go ahead and take a look at the unit tab. We'll see just an overload of Banelings here. 32 and 17 across for Celo and DudeFromBrzl. And we also see 11 Roaches, 6 Hydralisks, and a bunch of Zerglings, about 40 Zerglings altogether. So definitely a lot. And there, they just tipped the hand. He literally sent about, you know, God knows how many stalkers to kill one Zergling. So they now know that they are mass stalkering. And we go ahead and take a look at production here. We'll see more upgrades coming down, more Roaches coming out, and really a lot of units. We do see finally some air from Timba, and he's just barely beginning to saturate this now. Definitely just not a lot of action in this game at all. I mean, just a very slow-paced, you know, I mean, it's literally been 15 minutes of nothing. Just 15 minutes of nothing. I mean, we even have Larva dying because they are just not building enough. I mean, they have spires, they have all kinds of things, but just not really doing anything. And you know, from a casting perspective, this is kind of like my worst nightmare, because everyone's just kind of sitting around playing SimCity, and there's not really much to report. Do have a lot of creep spread though, for those of you who are big creep fans. Lots and lots of creep spread. Look at that, some more creep spread there. Thank you, DudeFromBrzl. I didn't feel like it was covered enough, but you've definitely saturated it now. And there we go, Kromix attempting his first scout of the game, and unfortunately it's not going to end well at all. So this is what you get right here. A couple of scans have given them a little bit of detection, but that was the first real active scouting that we've had, and barely saw anything. Didn't even get to see all these Banelings sitting over here. Even though with double Zerg you should just basically expect Banelings. We do have a nice sized army here though. Marines are properly positioned behind the armored units. That will definitely help with any kind of Baneling attack, but they're forgetting one major thing, which is to actually move the army and engage the enemy. Actually try to use this force here. You've got all these upgrades, you've got everything you need, you just need to actually move the army and try to attack. I mean, at this point you will have creep in your base before you attack anything. So, you know, this is just a really painful game on both sides of the fence here. I mean, just completely painful. So, you know, I don't even know what to say anymore. I feel like I'm just kind of going in circles here. We do have some Corruptors out. So, DudeFromBrzl most likely going to go Broodlords. God knows he should have probably done it about 3 minutes ago. Yep, there it is. Greater Spire is in play. So let's go and take out the unit tab. It's getting very stacked. You see, it's almost going into the middle of the screen. It's very distracting. But you know, again, just really neither team trying to do anything. We literally have creep spreading into Timba's defensive area here. We have lots and lots of gateways going down, and they have a nice-sized army. They should just, you know, somebody here is just gonna have to reach down and you know, pull out some courage here and just kind of rush in. Because this is really turning into a desperately slow game. We finally have some Broodlords coming out. They will have to fly through the center tower, though, and be detected. It might be interesting, though, because considering how many buildings, I mean, a ridiculous amount of buildings here, all of which are outranged by the Broodlords, if they were to attack from this angle, there would be no answer. Timba would have to rush these Marines, stim them through this absolute maze of buildings into this very small area and try to take out the Broodlords. Hopefully DudeFromBrzl has realized this as well and does something soon before I fall asleep, because it is just painful watching this game. It's literally 20 minutes of city building. You know, either team, this is just not good play from either team. We finally see Kromix as well scouting, realizing, oh my god, they have a lot of bases. This is very bad. We thought they were just kind of hiding in their base too, and it turns out that they actually have the entire map taken over. So not good news for them. And we finally see some Broodlords moving into enemy territory. Thank the Lord. Some activity is actually going to happen here. And please, just shoot something, Broodlords. There we go. And there we go. At 20 minutes and 10 seconds, we have the very first violence of the game. You know, incredible. It took us 20 minutes to get here. And we also see a massive Zerg mass moving into position as well, streaming in. They will engage these. Oh no, it looks like they've split the armies. That is not a good decision at all. This becomes now a one-on-one here. Unfortunately, these Marines don't really have any way of getting to these broodlords very easily. This stalker ball is going to be completely eaten up by this overkill of banelings, and this is not a good situation at all, and he literally just committed suicide by blinking the remaining stalkers into the mass. And unfortunately, these Marines will chase away these broodlords, but they can easily outrange them. He really needed to have some air attack. This is, of course, a consequence of lack of scouting. We do see a lone Thor here trying to hold the line. He will go down swinging, and these Marines trying to get some... They're being blocked by these stalkers here. That's when you want to use Blink to get out of the way of your teammate. Taking down a few of these roaches here, but you see Celo reorganizing these roaches. Meanwhile, the broodlords coming in from behind and taking out what's left of the defenses there. And this is not looking good at all. The rest of these roaches will finally go down, and that army came at a steep price as the entire stalker ball was lost. Meanwhile, we have these broodlords wreaking absolute havoc over here. One of them goes down, and we see lots and lots of broodlords underway. Dude from Brazil realizing that they have no air to deal with this. Some Marines rolling in here, but there might just be too many broodlings to deal with, especially once these other broodlords pop. So it's not going to be a good situation at all. We do have a few of these broodlords going down. It's going to be a race. This is going to come very close here. They really need to get some good position though on these broodlords. It's going to be very, very close. It's amazing. After 20 minutes of waiting, this could be over in less than a minute. If they do manage to pull this off, they will have to counterattack. However, unfortunately, it looks like the broodlings are going to be too much for the Marines and stalkers to handle, and they have gone down. Meanwhile, we see another string of Zerglings just running through here to finish the job, and they will be met with little resistance at all. See stalkers coming in, that is a bad choice. Definitely want to see some zealots against Zerglings here, and Zerglings are just rampaging all over the place. The broodlords definitely did their decent job here of distracting and splitting the army. I think that was probably accidental more than intentional, but it still worked. And Timba and Kromix are basically having buyer's regret after spending 20 minutes building this wondrous city. It is going to be completely destroyed in less than 2 minutes. And this is just rampaging. And literally a 20-minute wait has eclipsed by a 4-minute absolute ass-kicking by some poor decision-making on the army handling there, by splitting the army to address the broodlords. Really just lack of scouting, though, left them completely blind and in the dark. See the GGs going down, and this will be the game, handing Timba and Kromix their second loss, and continuing their winless streak. Dude from Brazil and Celo stay undefeated, and they will go into week 4 basically carrying what might be one of the only undefeated records left at this point, as we'll have to see how some of the other games play out. And just a very boring game, to be honest, but at least the last 4 minutes did not disappoint, and we see them hanging around, I guess, just for the sake of killing things for no reason. And Kromix, I guess, still in denial, trying to build that forge, and trying to hold out against this complete onslaught here. At this point, he's just dragging this game on, and really, after this, do we really need the game to be dragged on any longer than it was? It was already painful to watch as it was, and there it is. They finally left. The game is over, and wow, I'll never get those 25 minutes of my life back. But good victory there for Dude from Brazil and Celo, and we'll have to see what kind of action awaits in week 4.